Hey everybody, ho ho ho, happy holidays and all that kind of good stuff. This is Coach Powell and welcome to Coffee, Tea, You and Me. As many of you know already, Coffee, Tea, You and Me is my opportunity to give back to the entrepreneurial community in any way that I possibly can. This is a show where there's no holds barred. There's opportunity for everyone to engage, to participate. I don't care whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever your program that you prefer. Please pay attention, please engage, please share with us any thoughts and comments that you may have. This week, we've got an extra special topic. We're going to continue in our series that involves the VisionQuest 90 process, which is a process that I created many, many years ago to help business leaders and entrepreneurs really move themselves forward. And it is the actual process that I use when I'm coaching my clients and helping them increase their performance, their focus, and their innovation and creativity for themselves and their organizations. And it's been wonderful. It's been a beautiful process. And I'm happy to be able to share with you all every year around about this time. We're going into planning, right? We're all starting to think about what are we going to do for 2024 and beyond? How do we create the energy that we have to create, the passion that we have to embrace, the opportunities that we take advantage of? How do we do all of that in a way that makes some sense? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, we're on the third edition of the VisionQuest planning process. We talked about last couple of weeks ago, we talked about everything when it comes about, you creating the partnerships that you need. And then we talked about you creating the vision that you need. This week, we're going to get into the mission, and then next week, we're going to talk more and more about the goals and how do you set those goals. And then finally, at the last part of the year, we're going to talk about how you connect all of that with a series of activities and things that you're going to need to have and strategies and techniques you're going to need to have in order to move yourself and your business forward. So I hope you're having a good time. If you're signing on from wherever you're signing on from, definitely put your information in the chat. Definitely tell us where you come in from. Let us know if you're coming from wherever you are in the country, wherever you're watching the show. It doesn't matter, even if you're watching a recording. I want you to put your information in the chat, especially if you have a business and you have an opportunity to promote your website or your events or anything that you're going to do. We can help you get in front of that another part of your audience and create opportunities for you and your business. That's what we want to do. This is a business-friendly show. And so we want to make sure that everyone who's participating, everyone who's watching, no matter where you're watching or participating from, you have an opportunity to grow with us. And we want to make sure those opportunities are still available for you, no matter where you're calling in from, no matter where you're viewing from, or no matter what your opportunities are. Okay, so I'm trying a new platform. For those of you who know, I've been using the StreamYard platform for many, many years, but this is the first time I'm using it with the suggested web browser, which is the Chrome web browser. So hopefully we're going to get rid of some of the technical glitches we've been dealing with in the past. I've tried to upgrade my internet process and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully Chrome will do us a great job and we'll be able to broadcast a lot better in terms of what we're doing and what you're seeing from listening and viewing audience. Again, if you have any questions about anything that's going to help your business grow, feel free to reach out. Feel free to call us. Feel free to talk to us. Our information is scrolling across the screen. If you have something that you want us to talk about in the future, throw that information in the chat. If you have a question about anything, again, throw that information in the chat. We want as much engagement and empowerment as we possibly can generate and create. Okay, so this is it. This is Coffee to You and Me. I'm going to add our PowerPoint deck to the stage right now and let you guys know, just from a feedback point of view, We've been discussing over the past few weeks the VisionQuest 90 process. And here's a snapshot of the VisionQuest 90 process and what the VisionQuest 90 process is all about. It is all about creating alignment. It's all about creating collaborative opportunities and creating the energy that you're going to need to put together your partners, your vision, your goals, your mission, and your habits. When we do this well, we find out when we have well-written, brilliantly articulated strategies to do all of this, it's easier to get to where you want to get to. Whatever goals, whatever vision, whatever you're trying to accomplish in your life, it's much easier when you have a well-written, brilliantly articulated opportunity to move that needle. And we've created tons of tools, tons of techniques and strategies, done tons of research. We've been coaching people through this process for more than 20 years now. And so it's a beautiful process. It works well. I'm not going to say trust me. I'm going to say try me. It's very, very important. If you pay attention to what we're talking about today and what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks, you're going to grow. If you're missing any part of the series that you haven't gotten a chance to go back, you can go back, watch it on Google, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can begin to see the earlier parts of the series. This particular series is part 3. Today we're talking about goals. And I want to show you this first screen just to let you know what this is all about. I'm going to move immediately right down to the next process in its mission. What is this mission thing? When you think about what mission is, or how powerful mission can be for you and your organization, you got to think about it deeply, because it's a very intimate part of what you do in your planning process. Now, I'm not talking about just having mission statements and affirmation statements, but I'm talking about having the mission statements and affirmation statements that drive key ideas and key concepts. And there's some questions that you want your mission and affirmation statements to do for you. Yes, they have to be aligned to your vision. They have to be aligned to your goals. They have to be aligned to everything that you're trying to create and become a part of. But here's what vision ultimately should do for you in 2024. Number one, it should supercharge your productivity. If you don't find that when you read, share, envision the mission of your organization, and you don't find a sense of engagement and power that can help you be more, do more, or have more you currently have, go back to the table. It's not good enough. You're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to really work with your team, work with the people around you to come up with the right types of expressions and words that drive innovation and performance, right? You want your mission statements to encourage people to have that sense of purpose and belonging. And test it. If your people don't feel, and I mean all of your people, not just people that you hire, I mean your stakeholders, your investors, your partners, your collaborators, if they don't feel a sense of purpose and belonging when they express or get to hear your vision and your mission, your affirmation statements, right? If they don't feel that connection to it, it's not good enough. You got to go back to the drawing board. You got to find the words. You got to find the values, to find the connective tissue that helps people feel that sense of purpose and belonging inside of the mission that you're sharing or providing. And not just yourself. Because it's great that you can be motivated as an entrepreneur, as a leader in your organization. It's not, motivating yourself is half the battle. It's really important. However, if that also doesn't, if you're not able to articulate that in a way that spills out to the rest of your organization, what are you really doing? And you got to think about that, because that's what has to happen for your vision, your mission, and your statements to be valuable. They have to spill over outside of you and create that connective tissue. One of my greatest mentors, and I hope some of my friends that I'm working with, the nonprofit organizations, are watching this right now. One of my greatest mentors is Arthur Franchred. And Arthur Franchred was the general in command of creating the first major endowment for Cornell University, I think back in the 40s, right? And I had a chance to meet him before he passed and talk to him at length on many different occasions. And that's why I embrace him and I call him a mentor. I encourage anybody who's on a board or wants considering being on a board of a nonprofit organization to read Not on This Board You Don't by Dr. Arthur Franchred. Franchred says in his book, and he shared with me on many occasions, that a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, right, that license, right, is basically a license to inspire people to give. Right? We're in the giving season. That's why I'm wearing my wonderful Christmas hat. I got a chance to participate in the Salvation Army bell ringing last Saturday with my fraternity brothers. Hey, I'm representing, bros. I want you to know I'm representing. Right, here we go. And it was so much fun. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is, if your stakeholders don't have a sense of purpose and belonging in what you share with them, it doesn't matter. It's like France Rev and the nonprofits, right? You give their time, talent, and treasure with what you do in your organizations, in your membership, in your leadership, whatever you're doing. Then what are you doing? You're not taking advantage of the opportunity to move the needle forward and improve our society, right? How do you connect? It has to be when you find your vision and your mission statements and your affirmation statements, right? You want to find that connective tissue that's personal for you and for everybody else. You want to make sure that we're in that personality, you don't just have it, but you acknowledge that sense of acceptance and that sense of knowing that the role that you're playing, whatever the role is, whatever the title is, whatever the responsibilities are, is vital. It is important. It has meaning. It has value. It has purpose. And if you don't find a way to connect to that meaning, that value, that purpose, then you're not going to be able to give your everything to it. You're not going to be able to make a full commitment. You're not going to be able to deliver the goods. You're not going to be able to perform at high levels, and no one else will either. This is why I stress this is critically, mission and a sense of mission and articulation of that sense of mission is critical to the success of any organization, no matter what they do, no matter what they're what's going on with them, what they're doing. Okay, so let's get into it. What is this mission? What is it? What makes mission so important? Why is mission delivering with the highest possibility to you and your organization? Number one, mission connects you and your group and your team with the essence and the meaning of the thing that you're trying to accomplish. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're doing, your sense of mission has to have that connected tissue. Number two, it acknowledges and accepts the call of duty, the responsibility, the power, the purpose, the opportunity, right? You have to have that. If that mission doesn't do that well, you need to work on it. You need to create that. It shares the charge. Whatever charge, whatever calling, whatever belief system, whatever technique or strategy that you want to embrace, it helps you to be able to share it, whatever it is, so that other people can get on board and be empowered by it. And when I say empowerment, we're not talking about just personally empowered. We're talking about empowered in a unified way. Because when we're all basically moving towards the shared values, the shared purpose, the shared sense of belonging that we have with one another, that is when people are at their best. When there's unity going on, right? When there's an opportunity to create that kind of synergy around the mission of your organization that you're trying to espouse and create, right? You have to have that. The last thing it's going to do, the next thing it's going to do is it's going to supercharge your productivity. Can't say enough about this, and I'm going to say more about it, right? If you want people to be productive, that means they have to be focused. That means they have to be empowered, and that means they have to be able to thrive. They have to see themselves thriving in the situation in the environment that you provide. And there are going to be things as a leader that you cannot do anything about. Those are macroeconomic factors, or macro factors that might be political, that might be social, that might be economic, that might be technological, might be legal, maybe even ecosystem related, right? All these things are macro factors that may create or cause some type of chaos into what you're trying to do with your organization. Your job, though, as a leader, is to provide a sense of mission and belonging that allows people to understand that they may be able to overcome even those things. That's how powerful that mission has to be. It establishes it, and it gives them the reason to put that shoulder to the plow a little bit harder. It pull one more time, to be more resilient, to be more respectful of what's going on around them, and to appreciate and acknowledge one another in the process, right? It establishes purpose and belonging. When you get this right, guys, when you get this right, everything is great in your team because they understand who they are, they understand why they're doing what they're doing, they understand where they're trying to go, and they're focused on doing their best. They can focus on doing their best. when they don't have a good sense of mission, it's impossible for someone to focus on doing their best because they don't know why they're doing it. They don't have a clear understanding, right? Mission drives purpose and meaning. I'm going to say this again. Mission drives purpose and meaning. Here's a quote from Warren Buffett that I absolutely love because it puts that purpose and meaning into focus for us. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Now, what is Buffett saying? When you have a sense of purpose and meaning that you're working towards, that you're actively engaging in, you will not say yes to things outside of that purpose and meaning. But but you will say yes to things that fit within that purpose and meaning. Here's the key, guys. When you're sharing your mission, and you're sharing your mission with stakeholders of any type, 360 around your organization, 360 degrees, right? You want to make sure you're sharing in a way that they can embrace what's in it for them. A friend of mine asked me the other day, well, how do I get the right types of board members involved with my nonprofit organization, right? First, you have to identify who they are. Understand, do they share the values that you share with your organization? Communicate to them what those values are for your organization and ask them would they be willing to engage with you. And if so, what would that level of engagement look like? Don't invite them onto the board before you know the information. It's like any other sales process, right? You want to know if they want it, if they're interested in it, will they value it? Why offer something to anybody if you don't have the answer to those questions? So take the time to get to know them, take the time to understand them, take the time to evaluate for yourself, is this the right person for me to be associated with in collaboration or partnership and so on and so forth? And you have to have those answers before you make the offer. Because if you make the offer and you don't have those answers, then you're not sure how they're going to win. I teach this process in my 100% closing ratio. It's a very, very important process. When you're talking to other people, other individuals, and you want to move the needle forward in terms of what can happen in your relationship, you have to know how to do this. Here's what purpose and mission does. It's so powerful because it creates the opportunity for your resolve, your rationale, your role, and your reason to come together in a way that's so palpable, so powerful that you can feel it, you can sense it, you can become a part of something so much more special. Because before the mission arrives, right, you have a sense of where you belong. You have a sense of what you might do if you've done some self-reflection. But when that mission shows up, it feels like this is my destiny. It feels like I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be working on this. I'm supposed to be a part of this. That's how strong it is. It helps to bring the best ideas out of theory and into action. That's what you want to see in your mission statement. You want to see people come from the dome with these great ideas, right? But you also want them to be able to put those ideas into action and be willing to put those ideas into action. It's great, come up with the best ideas to do all kinds of stuff, but if you're not willing to put the action to it or help someone else put the action to it, then it has no place, right? It has no way to thrive, no way to grow, right? It calls that action out. That's what good mission statements do. It calls us to show up with a single-minded, persistent focus and tenacity that's going to make amazing things happen, right? If you don't have, and this is an important distinction, right? If your mission does not call people to have a sense of feel or aim or ambition or calling, again, it's not good enough. You got to go back to work on it. You got to go back to honing it and making it make a difference. Because when people have something, the stuff they need to say yes to, and it's prioritized and understand what that is, then it's easy for them to say no to a whole bunch of nonsense that doesn't get them anywhere, that doesn't help them feel like they belong or help them plug into opportunities that are out there. Right? I can't say this enough. Again, we've done the research, you've done the homework. I don't care where you're looking at this from or where you're seeing it from. If you haven't realized that mission helps you focus and aim yourself and aim the target of your organization in the right place, then you're not getting what I'm talking about. Right? It's super, super important. You have to write it down. It has to be brilliantly articulated, because when you get it right, this is the research search. This is not marketing. This is the research search. And by the way, anybody who wants to get the PowerPoint deck that I'm working from right now, and again, it's kind of sloppy right now, but I'll clean it up before I finish it at the end of this series. Definitely let me know in the chat. Definitely hit me up in a text message, or find me, hashtag me 9-Step Guru somewhere, and I will get it to you. I promise you. I will not. I don't create anything that I don't want people to have, so I'm gonna give it to you for free. Don't even worry about it. But this is the research. All right, your mission, your affirmation statements does a couple things for your organization, and these things are not up to dispute or argument. If you get it right, you're going to have an alignment of goals, which means people are going to know what they're doing, how are they doing it. They're going to be motivated to make it happen, right? Their process for improvement and continuous improvement of their performance is going to be easier to tap into and to work from. And you're going to create amazing team cultures. You have to have this. If you don't have that mission right, it's very difficult for you to do those things. And there's more. Right? You're going to have an ability to hit your targets with a better sense of innovation and retention. It doesn't do you any good to have great people if you can't keep them. It doesn't even do you any good to have people with great ideas if their ideas don't feel like they have a place where they could be born into. So your vision and your mission basically creates a framework for which those ideas can come out and they can feel comfortable. But if somebody tells you, well, we got it all worked out, we don't need your thoughts and your input and any kind of stuff, it's kind of hard to be valuable when there's no room for growth within the vision and mission of your organization. You got to have that, right? Role clarity. Love this. I don't know how many of you out there have ever felt like you don't know why you're here, whatever organization you belong to or participate in. You don't have an idea of the role that you could play. I would tell you that maybe you don't understand what the mission of your organization is, or maybe you don't identify personally with that mission, right? I talked to you earlier about the fraternity, right? The fraternity has some key, clear ideas that resonate with me. One is culture for service, service for humanity, right? That means that we are here to serve humanity. And part of being a culture as a human being means you should be looking at that culture and asking yourself, what's good about that culture, what's bad about that culture, and how do I serve to bring greatness to that culture in a way that's going to be amazing. That's what culture for service, service humanity means for me. I get to redefine that for myself as I connect to the sense of purpose and mission in that branding statement, right? In that wonderful code of conduct that we have. It focuses me on our values differently: brotherhood, scholarship, and service. What does that mean to me? As I dig deep to figure out how I can make a contribution to our organization, what time, talent, and resources do I have to spend? And it becomes real clear for me as I reflect on the mission of the organization. When I don't reflect on the values and the mission of the organization, then I get lost, because then you can start doing any old thing. Does it matter? Don't know. Should it? It should. It should help you clarify the role that you'd like to play. Maybe the role that you're currently playing is not the role that you should be playing, based on your interpretation of how you plug into what you get excited about with the mission of the organization. So it gives you a moment to be reflective and think about that. That sense of purpose. Again, can't say enough about that. When you feel like this is a calling for you, when you feel like this means something to you, that you feel a sense of purpose towards it, it's so much easier to commit resources, time, talent, treasure, prioritize activity towards the goal, whatever the goal is. And it helps with guidance. If you are working with other people and they're trying to figure out, well, where do I belong? How do I fit in? A good sense of understanding how the mission works and how the mission, and personalizing that mission for them, helping them understand that, is a great way to get the best guidance to them that they need to have. But now, if somebody comes to you and they goes, well, why are we here? What are we doing? What are we up to? And you got nothing for them as a leader, because you think they should, it's just assume they should understand, they should know it. You should never assume that. And no one who loves a mission of an organization gets tired of hearing about it. So you need to make sure that you're good at sharing it all the time. There are 4 mission critical behaviors that the best of us can do, and they can do it all the time, right? The best of us are always aligning and realigning our behavior with a sense of purpose and meaning towards that mission, whatever that mission is. the best of us are always identifying ideal prospects. These are people that can jump on board, that could lend their time, talent, resources to the credibility, the organization, the collaboration, whatever it is in an organization. We're always looking for people who could jump on board, who would be willing to help, who would be willing to put their shoulder to the plow, right? It helps us recalibrate our vocabulary. When you have a mission statement and a mission that is so wonderfully written and so brilliantly articulated, you want to share it. You want to share it. You want to share it with other people. You want other people to hear it. You want people to just go, wow, so they can go, wow, how can I be down? And of course, using your affirmation statements is a constant reality for you. It helps you to organize your thoughts and keep yourself oriented in the right direction. Every day, I read my affirmation statements, my personal affirmation statements. And my personal affirmation statements are aligned to that what I believe is a sense of mission for my life and my business. And I read them before I do my daily planning. But I'm going to give you a little bit more about that a little later. But I want you to understand that if your mission doesn't call you to behave differently, it's not a good enough mission. If it doesn't help you do that, you got to, again, go back to the mat, do your homework. Now, next week, we beat up mission quite a bit. But next week, we're going to get to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is literally talking about the goals. What are the goals that you have for your organization? And more importantly, how do you create the environment by which those goals can thrive for your people, right? They have to be truly smart, meaning they have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. What's critical about those goals is that the alignment is right. Your partners, your vision, your mission, they have to be aligned to those goals. And then you can bring in your daily activities, your weekly, monthly habits that are going to help you generate those goals, the things you need to do. That's your winning execution strategy. Without these things, your goals, they're just goals. And it helps to have them. Don't get me wrong. It helps to have well-written, brilliant, articulated goals. But if you do it right, all these other things that I'm talking about are going to be there for you as well. That's what I'll be talking about next week. We get ready to go to a wonderful event this evening and have a get together and share some brilliance with some of my fraternity brothers and some of the friends or local friends in the area. But it's going to be super, super fun. And so that's why I'm kind of dressed up in my fraternity gear and my Christmas hat and all that kind of good stuff. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. I had a great time working with you today. Today's series I know is pretty short, but I don't see any questions or anything out there for anybody. So again, if you have any thoughts, comments that you want to share in the chat, feel free to do so. I don't care where you're watching this from or what time you're watching it. Feel free to make sure that you add your information to the chat. All right. Next week, we're going to have a great program. Hopefully, we'll have some speakers and some guests to share some of the ideas and some of the innovative things we're going to talk about when it comes to goal setting and goal strategy. Feel free to log on. Feel free to respond. Feel free to ask questions about anything. But your homework, I got to give you some homework. Your homework for next week is to really dig into your mission. Is to go back into some of the things that we said in it. What does your mission call it? Does your mission help you feel connected to your organizational values and to the vision of your organization, the people that you work with? Does it drive that connected tissue? Does it help you focus and reprioritize and get your priorities straight and get you in the game that you're supposed to be playing? Not the game that you like to play or you need to play, the game that you're supposed to be playing. How are you in that game? And how well are you doing? Because mission helps you get all that done and do that in grand style. And I wish you the best of mission planning as you move your organization forward in our great 2024. This is Coach Powell signing off. Hope you had a good time. I know I did. I'm going to end a little earlier today, but I hope you have a wonderful holiday. God bless you all.